We all know why there isn't more effort put into Pokémon. The games will sell no matter how cheaply they're made, and to be fair, I made peace with the fact that the series wasn't for me, despite growing up during the first big craze of Red and Blue. The target audience is kids, and Game Freak keeps copying the same success formula over and over to a T. Another batch of 50-something new creatures to fight in the same turn-based battles, starting in a small town with rats and pigeons, before defeating 8 gyms, a Pokémon mafia in a dungeon with teleport puzzles, and then catching the thing on the cover art in a cave or something, with a decreasing level of difficulty with each new title. But then came Pokémon Legends, which in theory did the right things to bring back old school fans, which makes it only more disappointing that they still dropped the ball in some key aspects. Similar to other monster fighting series like Shin Megami Tensei, the appeal of these spin-offs wasn't a new batch of creatures, but new game concepts built around the existing roster, which should be the way to go. The first Legends game, Arceus, finally found an intuitive way to capture these pocket monsters in real time and summon them on the map to fight and to do chores. The open worlds didn't overstay its welcome and avoided some of the shortcomings in the genre during exploring, because finding the Pokémon was a reward in itself, and they even increased the difficulty again. The tedious tutorial was forgivable, but the production values were not. It wasn't just that these graphics looked incredibly cheap, but the game lacked any attempt at hiding these shortcomings with a good sense of style. On a console that ran Breath of the Wild, there's no excuse for these barren wastelands. The map contained throwbacks to older games, but as this big pile of mud, they weren't even recognizable. And then Legends CA, in theory, once again moved in the right direction. It delivered a new concept instead of focusing just on new creatures, this time adding real-time combat on top of summoning and catching Pokémon on the map, which in the dedicated hunting zones can actually create some relatively challenging fights, because multiple enemies can gang up on you in real time. At the same time, if you have the right tactics, you can still overcome and catch even some of the high-level creatures to gain advantage in other areas of the game. It also didn't just rehash the sandbox Pokémon hunting of Arceus, but now focused on the trainer battles. And this idea of really prepping in the city during daytime for a big tournament at night to rise from rank C to rank A is pretty unique for JRPGs. Which is why I won't complain that the map is much smaller than in the prior game. It's a different idea, and the cityscape with its changing environments and day and night routine, as well as lots of vertical exploring on the rooftops, could potentially feel very intimate, but again, it's the production values. The presentation just kills any atmosphere the city could have had. Weirdly enough, there are a couple of indoor areas that look one generation above the outside sections, but it's hard to ignore the amateurish texture work in the main city. It's an often false claim about other games, but Legends CA really looks like a PS3 or PS2 game, and not like the ones with good art direction either. It's ironic, in the same year, developer Game Freak announced Reincarnation of the Beast, a clone of Sekiro and Nier Automata for stronger platforms. So they are capable of advanced visuals, they just choose not to make them for Pokémon. But actually, in CA it isn't only the graphics. While the main concept is a breath of fresh air on paper, they rushed the execution. It's one of the weirdest RPG moments in recent memory. The game jumps more than half of its tournament rankings, and after that it takes away all your freedom to tackle the tournaments the way you want. So it can instead follow a linear questline full of unbearably boring cutscenes. Of course, without any voice acting, because that would have meant that they needed to spend some money on the most successful IP ever. Some people argued that a full 26 ranks would have been boring to fight through, but then what was the point to begin with? As an alternative, they could have lowered the fee for rank battles and make multiple boss fights possible within a single night. Either way, another Pokémon opportunity wasted.